It's time to visit incredible Greece. In this week's episode, we celebrate the easing of lockdown with our guide to travelling in Greece. We head to famed ancient sites where the gods named the centre of the universe and gates cry for lost loves. We travel to monasteries that cling to cliffs, take some of Greece's best hikes and enjoy natural wonders that will make you say, I want to go there. We share insights about easy day trips from Athens and tips about our favourite islands in which we would recommend to get away from the crowds. We love to get off the beaten track, away from other people, so if you're thinking of a trip to Greece and you like hiking, beaches, terrific food and some really old stuff, then stick around. This is the video for you. We're the Newbies, a family of travellers with big dreams. I'm Tara, this is John, and this year we were joined by our little boy Crusoe. 2020 sent the world for a loop, and it sent us on a journey. Not wanting to waste a single minute or second of it, we embraced van life and travelled to over 20 countries in Europe in our self-converted camper van. With the arrival of Crusoe into the world, our priorities remain the same: to make every moment matter, to take this little family around the world and to teach our children about huge horizons, a life full of opportunity and adventure around every corner. Last year we spent 5 weeks exploring Greece, and it's fair to say that we loved it. So we thought, now that things are easing up a little bit, we'd put this video together as a little travel guide in case you are planning your own trip around Greece.
Absolutely. I've been fortunate enough to go to Greece more than 20 times and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite countries in the whole entire world. I've been north, south, east and west, and our last trip, which lasted 5 weeks like Tara said, we went all over the place.
It was completely unexpected in lots of ways. I had no idea there was so much wilderness in Greece, so much space. The people were incredibly warm and friendly. The beaches are of course amazing, and the history is as ancient as history gets.
Absolutely. So in this video, we are going to try and share some of our insights.
We tried really hard to find places that were a little bit more off the beaten track, particularly in areas like the Peloponnese, the islands, and I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, almost every Greek trip probably takes in Athens. It may even start in Athens. So we're going to start off talking a little bit about one of my favourite cities in the world, Athens.
So obviously when we were travelling in Greece, we were travelling in our van, and initially one of our plans was to park up in Athens and stay in the van. We didn't end up doing that. We did book into an Airbnb, and parking was really tricky to find on the streets of Athens.
It was.
So we ended up parking the van in a paid for parking lot, which I think cost us €20 a day. But it was secure and it was off the streets and we felt a lot safer with it. It's a really, really cool city. Really busy, kind of bustling streets, lots and lots of really cool, delicious street food. And of course, some of the most famous ancient sites in the world. We're lucky enough to be there when there were very few other people travelling because of COVID.
We are on our way to the Acropolis, but it's pretty cool because there's nobody around. It's completely empty. Streets that I remember from past visits to Athens that should be super duper busy are completely empty. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning, the Acropolis has just opened. Let's go and see if we get it to ourselves.
Wouldn't that be epic?
Wouldn't it?
I just went to the loo for approximately a minute and a half, and John's just walked out, bought the tickets. We're about to go in. There's literally no one here. Come on in.
Come on.
Let's have a look. A UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1975, the Acropolis is a must-see on any trip to Athens. Tickets to get in cost €20 from the 1st of April to the 31st of October, and from the 1st of November to the 31st of March, they're just €10. So it is really worth considering heading to Athens in the off-season. There's lots of other benefits, not least that you wouldn't be walking around the top of the Acropolis in the baking hot sunshine in the heat of summer. And of course, there'd be less tourists in the winter months. It's also worth considering getting an archaeological site ticket for €35, which includes the Acropolis and 6 other archaeological sites and can be purchased online. A good place would be getyourguide.com. It can be a steep climb up the side of the Acropolis, but it's definitely worth it, and the views across Athens are certainly the very best in town.
Athens basically has got an epicenter. The Acropolis is smack bang in the middle of it. Around the bottom of the Acropolis, you've got the Plaka, where you'll find some absolutely terrific curio shops, trinket shops, and some of the greatest food in the world. There's a small gyros shop right next to Monastiraki metro station. It's pretty unmissable. The gyros is outside of the building and it is absolutely delicious. If you're wandering past feeling a bit peckish, do stop.
Do.
€2.50. 10 minutes early, so we got to wait.
Don't think they're expecting many people to come and order this for breakfast. It's an outrageous breakfast, but I'm very excited.
So our trip in Athens really focused around the centre. We took a walk over to the modern day ancient Olympic Stadium, had a wander around there. Sometimes though, ticket prices are quite high to get into the archaeological sites in Athens. It's really worth considering which ones you want to go into. Of course, the Parthenon is a definite must, but places like the Olympic Stadium, where you can pretty much see everything you need to see just by standing outside, well, you might want to consider perhaps, is it worth buying a ticket for that one? Sorry to the Greek archaeological societies for that. Getting around Athens is super easy. There's a bunch of trams there and taxis are really inexpensive too. Worth also considering making a wander over to the Parliament building to watch the fellas with the fancy shoes.
Those shoes are amazing.
They are really, really cool and they're super friendly. They'll let you take photographs with them.
A bit like going to watch the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace.
So, you're in Athens, you've enjoyed a couple of days wandering around, filling your bellies to the brim, and now you want to explore a little bit further afield. Where would we go?
For a day trip from Athens, it's quite easy to get to Delphi, isn't it?
Quite right, yeah, Delphi, the centre of the universe.
Delphi lies 180 kilometres northwest of Athens and is connected by regular bus services that take around about 3 hours depending on the traffic. By car it'll take you just over 2 hours. Some people prefer to stay overnight in Delphi and there are some small hotels very close to the ruins. But it's a really easy day trip from Athens, and if you buy one of those day-long tours, expect it to be around 10 hours long and include lunch. I am truly awestruck. This is magnificent. Anyway, the centre of the universe, Delphi, we arrived there very early in the morning, just as the sun was rising over the valley and the hills surrounding the ruins there. And it was absolutely spectacular.
It really was. And that would be a recommendation for any of the archaeological sites in Greece. Get up early, make sure you're there as they're opening, get that golden colour before the sun gets high in the sky and it gets too hot to enjoy, and before the crowds and the bus tours arrive. So Delphi would be an absolute must and a pretty easy day trip from Athens, 2.5 hour drive and through some spectacular countryside. On the way, you might want to stop at the Corinth Canal.
Absolutely. Fascinating bit of history and architecture there, and actually the building of the Corinth Canal made the Peloponnese Peninsula an island.
Yeah, it did. One interesting part of the Corinth Canal is very often overlooked. If you take a walk down the side of the canal, all the way down to the bottom to a bridge, you'll get a really great viewpoint of the canal. Perhaps wait for a boat to travel through it so it looks even more impressive. And down at that end of the Corinth Canal, you've got these old army bunkers as well, which are quite fun to explore.
Yeah, super impressive feat of engineering.
Yeah, very, very impressive. From the Corinth Canal, you cross over into the Peloponnese. Now, I would say, along with the northern part of Greece, the Peloponnese is the most undiscovered part of Greece. And if you're looking to get off the beaten track and away from the tourist crowds, you're heading in the right direction.
Especially if you're travelling in a van. If you don't know already, there is a brilliant app called Park for Night, which identifies all the different places that you could stop up and pull up for a night, where people have pinned them, rated them, so I've given a bit of detail about where you can park and what to expect from that place. And we found some of the most exquisite little park-ups on beaches and hidden corners of the Peloponnese, and just basically fell off grid for a few days, and it was magical.
It really was. What was the name of the small town that we went to that was on the side of the hill?
Monemvasia.
Monemvasia. She's good, isn't she?
This, I believe, is the gate to the upper town, my love.
Shall we go and have a look? Look at that. What a place that was. And I can imagine that during the peak tourist season it can get quite busy in those cobbled narrow streets. Nevertheless, it's pretty spectacular. So from Monemvasia, there's plenty to do down there. Bouncing around along the fingers of the Peloponnese, you'll find lots of olive groves and all sorts of mountains and beautiful nature. Lots and lots of hiking down there too.
Absolutely. It is also home to the town called Kalamata, where the Kalamata olive originates.
Yum yum.
And the town of Naplion. Now, we didn't visit either of them, but Naplion I understand to be a little bit like the Nice of the Peloponnese. Very, very wealthy people living there, beautiful kind of old buildings, a bit of a harbour, and just lots to see and do, lovely restaurants to eat and drink in.
It's a great stop off on the way to the most famous archaeological site on the Peloponnese.
Yeah, ancient Olympia was exquisite. If you are even remotely interested in the Olympics, which I think 99% of the planet and population are.
Especially right now, good luck, Nicole.
Exactly. My cousin happens to be playing in the South African women's hockey team this year. So if you're watching the hockey and you see Nicole, give her a big thumbs up and a big shout from wherever you are. We're backing her all the way and super excited.
We are.
Anyway, that's an aside. Ancient Olympia was fascinating, absolutely beautiful, and really it was remarkable to really get that sense of how ingrained, how strong the foundations of the modern day Olympics were that came from ancient Olympia.
Honesty and integrity
and sportsmanship.
Sportsmanship and achievement, rewards for being great. They all kind of came through the history books, and like Tara says, from ancient to modern day Olympics, it's quite fantastic to see. Just bought our tickets to get into the Olympic Stadium. It is the Olympic Stadium, the original Olympic Stadium, isn't it?
The very one, yep.
I, for one, am particularly excited about this because being a person that likes the Olympic Games, it's quite exciting to come to the actual place where the Olympic Games began, the whole ethos and idea of the Games began. One of the most exciting things to do there is run down the channel, this little tunnel out onto the old ancient Olympic Stadium. I mean, you can almost feel the roar that, of course, Nicole will feel for real.
Yeah.
But you can almost feel it as you come down, and they've got the old starting line in marble is still there. So it's possible to put your foot on the same starting line that the ancient Olympians would have put their feet on. If that's not going to get you going, I don't know what will.
Yeah, really
brilliant.
Cool. Look at that. The Olympic Stadium. How cool.
We've just walked down a tunnel that the Olympiads, the ancient Olympiads, would have walked down, I don't know, thousands of years ago, right?
Absolutely.
And they'll have run into this stadium here, and it would have been a big roar like the modern day Olympic Games. Oh, I'm feeling all athletic. So this is the starting line where all the ancient athletes will have put their foot, start the race, just like in modern day Olympics, and then they'd have run down there, all 200 odd meters of it.
As we mentioned, the Peloponnese is vast and endless and full of undiscovered wilderness, and in particular we did a beautiful hike to the Nether Waterfalls. Now this was something that we just happened to stumble upon, but it was exquisite. Absolutely crystal clear blue waters beneath beautiful tumbling waterfalls, and you could do quite a bit of scrambling and discovering around rocks in the area, and the swimming was amazing.
Yeah, so the Nether Waterfalls, what would I say about getting there? As a driver of, back then we were driving a small van, it was fairly straightforward stuff, but the roads to the Nether Waterfalls can be a bit gnarly, and if you're in a larger camper van, you might want to consider, is it really what I want to go and see?
When we first arrived in Greece, we got the ferry from Brindisi in Italy across to Igoumenista.
That's a great name.
In northern Greece. And we spent our first couple of nights just on the northern coast of Greece, close to Igoumenista, and it was absolutely beautiful. The water there was crystal clear turquoise seas, straight out of a postcard. Backed by beautiful forested mountains and some really quiet, sleepy little villages that were still very traditional, very laid back, and it was a wonderful way to start our time in Greece.
It's the place for people that want all of Greece but none of the tourists. There are beaches along there, like Tara said, that are very beautiful. I'm not sure what Crusoe's doing right now.
I know this is either really cute and endearing or desperately distracting.
Lots of B-roll. From Igumenista, from there's a really nice road that goes towards the monasteries on the mountain. Meteora. Now, here's another thing about Greece and getting around. The motorways are amazing and they are completely empty.
We're delighted already by the Greek motorways, which are very different from Italian ones.
Had to stop quickly just to have a look at that view. Very special, man. We're getting close.
You might be right.
I think I can see one of the monasteries perched on the cliff.
So Meteora once graced the cover of the Greek Lonely Planet. And even despite that, it was John's first visit, even though he's visited Greece some 20 times over the years.
Yeah. Okay, so Meteora
is a series of monasteries and convents built in the most extraordinary locations on top of these enormous granite monoliths. You actually cannot even begin to fathom how they built them up there, using nothing but ropes and ladders and baskets back, I think, in the 16th century.
If you're into hiking, rock climbing, food, old stuff and fantastic scenery, it is your nirvana. So we decided, instead of driving around all over the place, which you can do, this afternoon just to take a walk kind of over a little hill down towards one of the chapels, monasteries, and it's proving, well, I'd say hard work. Lots of steps. We'll take it easy, okay?
Stairs are finished. Now the scrambling begins.
How was that?
It's a bit hectic in places, this, huh? Whew. Proper rambling.
Spectacular walk. It's a must-see and a must-go-to for anybody travelling to Greece. I would highly recommend it. I think we spent 3 days there, but it would you could easily use a week.
This seems like an apt moment to bring in the octopus, Crusoe, because we are going to the
Greek
islands.
Yeah. So over the course of about 20 years, I have been to maybe 20, probably 30 islands, Greek islands, and I love them. Each and every single island has something different to offer. You could spend a lifetime going to the Greek islands and never get bored. We're going to be focusing on 2 islands that we went to recently, specifically because they offer 2 very different looks at island life. Santorini and Naxos. In my opinion, in our opinion, they couldn't be more different.
No, and very easy to get to both of them because they're actually very close to one another.
We used an app called Ferry Hopper. It was really easy to use and it gave us ideas of how to get from A to B. To compare it to another app, possibly you'd compare it to Skyscanner.
Yeah, for ferries, which is really handy in the Greek islands because it is quite a complex network of ferries. They don't run every day, they don't run all the routes all the time, especially out of seasons. Baby's asleep.
Crusoe's gone to bed.
He has.
All right, where were we?
Santorini and Naxos.
In my mind, they are 2 of the most different islands you can find in Greece. You have Santorini with its, well, Santorini.
I mean, it almost doesn't need an explanation because the way that you picture Santorini is exactly what it is.
Except maybe just a little bit busier than you might expect.
Yeah, absolutely. What I felt about Santorini is it's got a bit of an exclusive atmosphere, which might be your bag, might be your cup of tea. For me, I loved Naxos for its inclusivity, where you felt part of the fabric of the island and that you could immerse yourself within it, spend some time in some more local kind of places.
For us, the newbies, Naxos did present more opportunities to go out and hike and explore corners where perhaps other people wouldn't normally get to. And we have put a great video together for Naxos, so do have a look at it. It's there. Hiking up the side of Mount Zas, that was fantastic.
Amazing.
Santorini doesn't have hikes like that, really. I mean, we hiked from, where did we hike from?
From Ia to Fira.
Yeah, from Ia to Fira. It's a lovely walk, pretty hot, but it always, at every step of the way, you feel like there's a road there, or that there's other people around, or that there's another luxury hotel that you're strolling past, looking at the swimming pool, the infinity pool, and thinking, oh my goodness, why aren't we staying there?
Yeah.
But Naxos, you head out into the countryside, and it's proper old school countryside, winding tiny little roads, and suddenly within moments you find yourself enjoying peace and the tranquility of it all. And so for us, Naxos was a clear winner on where would we want to go back to. I think Santorini is one of those places that it's just let's go there and have a quick look.
Yeah.
And then for the holiday, maybe if you're into that hiking, like we said at the beginning of this video, we like to hike, we like good food, we like to get out into the corners of the undiscovered parts of our world. So Naxos, of course, well discovered.
For sure, but still feels so much more traditional, laid back, and just a bit more real and honest than Santorini.
Take a look at this little clip that we filmed as we walked up the side of Mount Zas, and we were deciding whether Crusoe would be called Zeus.
We weren't deciding.
Okay, that's it, my darling. We are ready to go all the way up to the top there. On a blog we read earlier today, it said the summit looks impossibly high. What do you
They
reckon?
weren't lying.
Yes, that is as steep as it looks.
Nice chill in the air. We are very nearly there.
Look at the views. That's it, we made it to the top, and Tara, as always, has to sit right on the edge.
Because there's some incredible eagles swooping just down here. This is the best view.
It is a best view.
Well, that is a wrap from our 5 weeks in Greece. We hope very much that you found this useful, and if you haven't already, then do check out our full series of videos from Greece.
All 5 of them.
All 5 of them. There's plenty to get stuck into, and if you are planning your own trip to Greece, leave us a comment and let us know. We'd love to know where you're headed, and if we can help in any way, we'd love to.
Absolutely. We will be back, by the way, Greece. We've got it on our calendar to head back towards some of those islands, and a little bit more over in the north. It's been a long time since I was in the Olympus Mountains. I'd love to go back there too.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, we're really, really grateful for you for spending the time and watching our video.
Thank you.
If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and turn on those notifications so that you don't miss out on any updates from our little trio.
Aferisto Polly Yassas Barakalo.
Ooh, fancy. See you next week.
See you next week. We are definitely next week in Wales, by the way.
Yeah, we're heading there later
Today. Cool.